This program is brought to you by PersonalLifeMedia.com. Living Dialogues is sponsored by Audible. Bestsellers in philosophy, spirituality, and self-help. Download your free audiobook from over 40,000 titles. Sign up for your risk-free trial at audiblepodcast.com/living. Join today. Cancel anytime in the first 2 weeks and keep your free book as your gift. You're going to love being an Audible listener.
I'm Stephen Mitchell. I'm the co-author of 1,000 Names for Joy by Byron Katie and of many other books, and I would like to express my appreciation to Duncan Campbell for his program Living Dialogues. He's a wonderful interviewer. Every time I'm on, I have great fun, and he draws out fascinating things that I didn't even know I had in me to say. I appreciate him, and I appreciate what he makes available to a wide audience.
So this is Byron Katie, the author of 1,000 Names for Joy, and I Need Your Love, Is That True? And Loving What Is. I appreciate Duncan Campbell and Living Dialogues as it reaches so many people and is so consistent, helping people reach an understanding that they already have. He's the one that connects people to that, and I'm so grateful.
From time immemorial, beginning with indigenous councils and ancient wisdom traditions, through the work of Western visionaries such as Plato, Galileo, and quantum physicist David Bohm, mutually participatory dialogue has been seen as the key to evolving and transforming consciousness, evoking a flow of meaning, a dia flow of logos, meaning, beyond what any one individual can bring through alone. So join us now, as together with you, the active, deep listener, we evoke and engage in living dialogues. Welcome to Living Dialogues. I'm your host, Duncan Campbell, and with me for this particular dialogue, I'm truly delighted to have with me old friend, wonderful spiritual teacher, world traveler, Byron Katie, together with her husband, Stephen Mitchell. She is the author most recently of a new book, 1,000 Names for Joy, Living in Harmony with the Way Things Are. In the midst of a normal life, Byron Katie became increasingly depressed and for 10 years sank deeper and deeper into rage and despair. And then one morning in 1986, she woke up in a state of absolute joy, transformed by the realization that when we believe our thoughts, we suffer, but when we question our thoughts, we don't. Katie has introduced her simple method of self-inquiry, which she calls The Work, to hundreds of thousands of people on all continents. The Work is a way of identifying and inquiring into the thoughts that cause all the suffering in the world. It consists of 4 questions that, when applied to specific stressful thoughts, enable us to see our problems in an entirely different light. The Work does not stem from any tradition, Eastern or Western, and it doesn't fit into any single category. It is no-nonsense, homegrown, totally accessible, and user-friendly, having originated in the mind of an ordinary woman who had no intention of originating anything. And so, Katie, with that very brief introduction of your life, I'd like to maybe, at this point, just let people know that if they're interested in the work and how to do it, not only is it in the appendix to this new book, but they can go to thework.com and also to your 2 prior books, Loving What Is and
I Need Your Love, Is That True?
That's right. And so, with this, I think we could jump right in, I think, to 1,000 Names for Joy, because it takes your work to another level, I would say, or amplifies it in a way that is unique. In this case, it arose out of your relationship with your husband, Stephen Mitchell, who 2 decades ago or more had translated the Tao Te Ching, the classic of Lao Tzu, the Chinese sage, and that book has sold over 750,000 copies and in a sense become the standard in America, the most widely read and appreciated version of the Tao Te Ching. And as you were both talking about it, Stephen would read you a passage and you would comment, and he started writing them down, and out of that evolved this wonderful new book, 1,000 Names for Joy, in which each of the chapters is a contemporary commentary, we might say, your own observations on the correlative chapter of the Tao Te Ching in Stephen's translation. And as Stephen says in his introduction, it's not necessary to read the two of them together because each one of your chapters has a small excerpt of the relevant Tao Te Ching chapter. But nonetheless, it's a very rich, wonderful experience. In my own experience, I can say, to just feel the flowing stream of human wisdom, the essence flowing over 2,500 years and into our own being and emanating from our being. And so maybe I should just start by asking you how this experience was for you to encounter this book and your own feelings about how this new book of yours, fits into the evolution of your own life story. Or non-story, as the case may be.
Well, my life is about being with people and assisting them as they question what they believe. And that, that's my job. That's what I do. And conversations with people, including my family, are not about me. I don't find me of interest. And I like to say I'm in a hurry. People's suffering, I come to see that if they can question what they believe, that pain, that agony, that suffering ends. And I watch as they're no longer able to recreate the suffering because they wake themselves up, actually, as they experience their own answers. So Stephen had this idea to read chapters of the Tao to me just to get my response, and thought it would make a great book. So actually, he would read a chapter, and then ask me how I relate to that, and so I would describe how I experience life, how I experience life, and put it into words, and in relationship to the Tao Te Ching, and that's, it was great fun, and it was just like talking to Stephen, just a normal conversation every day. He'll say, "Katie, how are you?" And I might say something like, "Honey, you don't seriously still believe I'm a me," and we have reading 1,000 Names for Joy is like stepping into my internal life.
One of the things I particularly appreciated about it, of course, is that it is a real dialogue. It's on multi-levels. It's the dialogue between you and Stephen. It's the dialogue between you and Lao Tzu. It's the dialogue between you and that something, which sometimes you call it, you're in yourself, that anima, that animated consciousness that comes through the form of Byron Katie. And what I also